Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. It is August of 2023. Some of you have messaged me saying you haven't posted in a while. What's going on? You okay? So yes, I am okay, and I'm back. I actually went to visit my loved one, so I actually left the country, went to US for a while. It's been a month, and now I'm back home. And I'm going to tell you all about my trip, and for those of you who are interested to know what to wear, what to bring to the prison, how the prison visits work, well, let's go and do that. But before that, make sure you click subscribe and like the videos, because I love that interaction and this really helps me out.
I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Alright, so I am in the bedroom. It's a mess because I've been unpacking. I'm mostly unpacked, and it's going to be a lot more time before this is sorted out. But so I came from Canada. Here I'm in Alberta, Canada. Went through Montana to Washington. I actually had some jobs I was applying for in there, and I had a friend to visit in there as well. And then from there we went to Oregon, the state of Oregon, and I went through different cities, different facilities, because they were jobs I was applying for as well, and actually a business I ended up doing, which is coming up later. But mostly I also visited my loved one who is in Oregon, and then coming back home. So I can tell you more about my trip, but you guys were asking a few times about, describing how it goes in the prison visits, what to bring, what to wear, how that works. So that's what I'm doing today. So for example, if you look at what I'm wearing today, none of it would work in prison. Sorry. And I don't mean just if you're incarcerated. None of this you can wear to a prison visit. This is my home cleaning clothes. I can look like crap right now because that's okay. Now, when you come into the prison facility, and I'm going to have those pictures for you, but the prison, sometimes they sound scary, sometimes they're not. In my experience, at least this time, I find that if you are courteous and polite to other people, no matter what profession they are, whether they're staff or other visitors, they are typically decent to you as well. That's been my experience, and I guess I'm older and wiser, and I'm pretty nice to most people. Now, I did get beat up and punched in prison. Whole different video. If anybody wants to know that story, I can film some of my stories because I had a fun time. But we're going to stick to PG-13 right now. So when you come to the facility, and I can't speak for all, but where my guy is, when you come in, the visits start at 8 a.m. Now, if you're there at 7:59, they're not going to open the doors. They're standing there by the doors like this, but that door is not going to open until exactly 8 on the dot, maybe 8:01. And you know that. Keeping in mind, I came there during a record high heat. As a Canadian, we're not used to that. So I was dying. Standing outside, hot, really hot. So if you see why I'm burned, that is also why. And it's been a while, so I'm still burned. Anyway, so visits start at 8 a.m. What you do is you come into the front lobby. There is a desk at the front lobby. And on the other side, there's a tiny little desk, table, something like that. It's got a couple of these sheets and pens. Now, what you do is you're going to fill out this sheet, and it just basically your name, and if you've got children with you or other people with you, this is just the names of the visitors. There's city or state or country where you're coming from, your vehicle, and the name of the inmate and their DOC number. Now, that is something I didn't realize I had to memorize. I actually never remember his number. So I ended up writing it on my stomach. I really did. For the first while, I wrote it on my stomach. I admit that. Didn't think that lifting up my shirt was not going to happen in the prison. So I had to try to remember that. Anyway, you fill that out. And then what happens is you hand that in to the officer working at the front desk. And basically at that point, depending how busy it is, like you're gonna stand in line, and sadly enough for this facility, it's pretty remote, it's pretty far away, it's nothing but mountains, rural area, like there's nothing in there. So that facility doesn't have many visits. So you're standing in line for everybody to get processed, and I think for me it's usually like 5 minutes, maybe 10 on the weekend, maybe. So it was not a long time, I can give you that one. So I've heard people say they waited for hours. That was not my experience. For me, it was just a couple of minutes. But anyway, you hand this to the guy or girl or to the person working at the front desk, and they take that in and they ask you for ID. So usually it's your driver's license, your passport, whatever that may be. And at that point, they type that into the system, and I guess now they start bringing that prisoner into the visiting room. So meanwhile, what happens for those of us, the visitors, they get you to, they give you a key so you can put your stuff in. There's a locker, and I say that loosely, it's a little box. So if it, because you can't bring anything except for your debit card. So my phone, which I love so much, and I felt like I was going through withdrawal, you put your phone, your ID, all of that into that little locker, and you take the key with you. The key comes, this one comes with a little string. You can actually wear it like a bracelet, but or anything you're not allowed to bring in, you can store it in there. If you've got medication, you can store it in there as well, so you can come back and get it if you need to. That was that. So basically you come to the desk and they look over stuff that you have. Now, to note about medication, if you do have medication or any devices, like for me, I have metal pins on my foot, or if you have a pacemaker, anything like that, you need your medication in their original bottles. So for me, for example, this is just Tylenol. This came from a drugstore. You wouldn't be able to bring that in. But if you have a medication like this, it would come with your name, a lid. It should be sealed. It needs to be sealed. But anyway, you'd have medication like this or like this. It would be closed, and they'll check that one. And for me, I put it into a Ziploc bag, so your medication's in there, and add a doctor's note. So this is the medication, the dosage, what time you take it. If you have anything like metal pins, if you have a walker, if you have a wheelchair, anything that way, make sure it's written on the doctor's letter as well. Because if you beat through the metal detector, they won't let you in. Or if you need to take that medication at a certain time, then you can come out and take it. Otherwise, once you come out, you got to leave. So this would be the reason they will let you come out and come back into the visiting room. So anyway, just that side note. Now, you are right there, and I'm trying to visualize this, so you're getting processed, meaning they are now saying, okay, you put whatever it is you got on hand, so you gave them the ID, now they gave you the key, so you put that, you went off and put it in the locker, put your medication in there, all that kind of stuff. So now you're getting ready to go through the metal detector. So people always tell me, you know what, don't bring jewelry, whichever else. Now, I had jewelry on me. This is the rings I had, actually exact ones. So I had those. These are the earrings I actually wear every day. I like long earrings. I wore those pretty much at every visit, maybe something similar to that. I didn't have any problem with jewelry. They didn't tell me to take anything off. I don't have excessive jewelry. Like if you have a whole arm of bracelets, maybe. But yeah, I had earrings, I had the ring, I had nothing else really. I didn't get flagged on it. So that was good enough. When you go through the metal detector, if you beep, they will ask you to take something off, etc. They do in this facility have dogs that sniff for contraband as well. So here's a tip, don't bring contraband. Anyway, so you're going to go through that metal detector, and the person that's there before you go through will also tell you if the clothes you're wearing are acceptable or not. So let's go through that one. These are just some of the things I had on me. So like I said, I mentioned, I came in the record heat. When you are coming to any facility, check online for their rules of what you wear. These little stubs also have rules of what you wear on the back, which I didn't realize until today, but by the way. But in Oregon, you cannot wear anything blue, no camo, nothing that resembles inmate attire. So their inmates wear blue. So like I said, you wouldn't be able to wear this because it's blue. Nothing tight or form-fitting. I'm a plus-size person, so I feel like on me everything's form-fitting. Besides the point, no shorts, no see-through, no revealing dresses, no hats. If you have a service animal, you can have that, and again, you need a note. And all kids under 18 must be accompanied by an adult at all times. So like I said, I wouldn't be able to wear this, so no shorts. So what I brought was a lot of black, actually, because I was trying to stay away from blue. But I have pants like these. Leggings, I know they turn people away because they're a little bit form-fitting. So these were pants. They're like dress pants, but they have a little bit of a cute thing in the bottom. I'm short, you can't even see that, but anyhow. So I have these in brown, I have them in black, I have them in gray. So I brought all three pairs. So I wore these pants pretty much as many times as I can get. And they have, you know, nothing revealing. So it's usually elbows have to be covered, knees have to be covered, but they did waive the elbows being covered. So you could wear a t-shirt or even a tank top as long as it covers your bra straps. And for the ladies, it's no bras with wires on them because the wires will set off metal detectors. So I got a whole bunch of, I have a bunch of wireless bras off Amazon. They were cheap, they did the job. I know some people dress up. I did not dress up for the visits because I just want to get in there. This wasn't like a date thing for me. This was just, I just want to get in there. So anyway, the other things that I wore, I had a lot of long dresses. And like I said, I have a lot of long dresses. I actually wore this dress twice to a visit. And in the morning, I was allowed to wear it. And then in the afternoon visit, by the same officer, I was told, no, I can't. So for that reason, I brought tons of cover-ups. So if you have any tops, any t-shirts, any cover-ups you can bring with you, bring as many as you can, because that's what I did. I mean, this is not high fashion here. Like I said, I went through my closet and picked up my worst clothes, basically. But I just want to wear something that I knew would get through. Definitely have a change of clothes with you. I had 2 or 3 changes with me just in case, but these kind of cover-ups always work because when the same officer told me I can't wear this later in the day, well, I had a cover-up I can throw on top. So that worked. So I wore a lot of maxi dresses and cover-ups. I don't know, black seemed to work a lot for me. I do have white t-shirts, but I didn't want to risk the white because white could be a little see-through sometimes. I don't know, I didn't want to risk it. Let's see, other dresses I had. I hate this dress, by the way. I hate it with a passion. It was a maternity dress, but it did work a lot for the visits because it's, I don't know, it's a little bit pretty, but it's also long and it covers knees. And well, you can wear it with sneakers or sandals. There's no open-toed shoes, so make sure your sandals are like closed sandals. But I had boots and I had running shoes mostly, or sneakers. So I wore this dress like I think twice, maybe 3 times as well. What else did I have? I also brought a couple of sweaters like these. I have these in a couple of colors. They're just really light sweaters. Like they look heavy, but they're long and they're so light. It feels like you're wearing, I don't know, a tank top. So again, if you can't get in with something, throw this on top. That worked for me. And like I said, I just brought a whole bunch of different color t-shirts. Just basic t-shirts. Red is my favorite color, so I see a lot of red. But yeah, I brought a whole bunch of t-shirts. So that worked really well for me. That's what I wore to visits. Like I said, nothing like this. So, so yeah. Once they approve your clothing, you will go through the metal detectors, and there's another officer that stands at the metal detectors. He may stop you there. Now, because things that beep, they go through that. So anything that could be gang colors, that could be gang symbols or swear words, anything like that, they'll stop you. So if you, I've seen somebody with a bandana with certain writing on it, and I think that was just brand name, but he said no, she had to take it off. I have no bandanas. I wore my hair long, or I wore it in scrunchy, like in a ponytail. That was easy for me. But if you've got any kind of hairstyles, if you have bobby pins, they might set off the metal detectors. So just watch for that one, or get the plastic ones rather than the metal ones. Headbands, same thing. So just watching for that one. Like I said, I've never set off the metal detector in the entire time, and I was there for visit every day. Anyway, so, and yeah, you don't want to bring contraband. Just trust me. I've seen fun stories that happen in there. You definitely will not get in. But yeah, once you get through the metal detector, they get you to go into this little room. I call it a little room. It's got a couple of chairs in there, and in here they wait until there's about 20 people, and then they, like, when you get in, they lock the door on both sides. So it's like the prison cell doors. They lock on both sides. So I'm claustrophobic. That was an experience for me, because you're locked on both sides and it's a tiny room. There's no air in there. Really hard to breathe. I don't know. I was going through a little claustrophobic moment, and they open and close those doors as they let each person through. So they waited till there was about 20 people approximately. And then finally they close, and that's when they start letting people go into the visiting room. And they call each person one at a time by the last name of the prisoner, the inmate. So anyway, that's pretty much how you get in, at least in that facility, in that state. So I think the wait in that little room is probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Depending on that time, they bring the inmate in and they get them to strip out. So they have to, take everything off, bend over, cough, get strip searched, everything else. And some of them get dressed up for the visit, some do not. But they do a pat down for some. I don't know. They do all that. They make sure that they're coming into the visiting room with nothing that they shouldn't be coming in with. So during that time, that's what's going on in there. That's why you're sitting in that room waiting while they get your person ready. So then one at a time, when they call your name or his name, in my case was his name, they open that door, you come in, there is a desk there, and there's a staff sitting there with their hand on the gun at all times. As you know, that was a little bit for intimidation too. They've got their hand on the gun, make sure everything's going well, and yeah, you walk in, and again they ask you for the name. And some facilities have tables assigned, some do not. In this case, tables are assigned, so they tell you which table you're in, and I think they told me this was table 40. You go to table 40, and well, that person is sitting there. Anyway, that's pretty much the essentials of that visit. Now that's the morning one, so it went from 8 until 10:30, and then 10:30 is count time. So in some facilities you can stay and the inmates leave, but in here the inmates actually stay right where they are, and the visitors have to leave. So you leave at 10:30, and then they do their count, and then the visits start at noon. So then you come back at noon and do the whole thing all over again. So at 12 o'clock, you come back, do the whole thing again, and they finish at 3:30 p.m. And that's it for that day. And that was the typical visit. In Oregon, they do visits on Wednesday through Sunday. There's no visits on Monday and Tuesday because those are staff training days, staff appreciation days, etc. Not really convenient when you're traveling far away to do that, but it is what it is. So Wednesday through Sunday was the visits day for me, and Monday and Tuesday I got to do things I wanted to accomplish. So that's how they go in there, and that's pretty much all there is into the visits. Now, if you are coming from outside of the state or outside the country, you can get more time, meaning extended visits. Now, your person needs to apply for them, so make sure you do that. Mine applied for it. I did get extra 10 hours per week visit time, so that was actually nice, and it was a little bit of that one-on-one time because everybody else has gone by then, and I had some extra time, extra alone time. Well, the guards are there, but extra time, and that was great. Like I said, if you need to go get your medication during any of that time, you do that. The only thing they do allow you to bring in is the debit card. In this facility specifically, they allow you a debit card or cash. Now, I prefer debit card that you can bring in, so you can get stuff from the vending machine. It's not a big selection. There's a couple of bottles of pop and a couple of bags of chips. It's not a lot, but it is what it is, so you can get that. Because it was such a hot week, I think I got Snapple iced tea. I got that every time, and a few times the machine didn't work and ate my money, so it cost me more in drinks alone. But anyway, that's how the visits went. Now, people ask me what to bring with you to travel, so I'm not going to go through everything I packed because that's just for me. But I found that we stayed in a really nice motel. We were at Comfort Inn or Quality Inn. It was one or the other. It was a really nice motel, and I brought these as souvenirs because I couldn't find souvenirs. I love little bottles. So the motel has the little shampoos, the little conditioners. I don't like these. I really don't like them. So I brought these to give to friends just as little souvenirs because I couldn't find anything. I brought my own shampoo, conditioner, and I did bring this entire tub of body lotion, and it's at the very bottom. It is, like I said, it was really hot and really dry. My skin is burnt and cracked in places I didn't know it could be. And so, yeah, I brought lotion, and next time I know I would bring more. So this was, plus it smelled good. It's watermelon kiwi, so it smelled good. Anyway, so I brought that, and I do save little containers throughout the year, and I pack them in little containers. So I had face cream, there's toner, and a cleanser. So I save these up through the year, and I pack them up that way. Then they don't spill, and they fit really well in a suitcase. So a lot of books, especially when you're sitting in the car waiting for the next visit to start. A lot of books, and I did bring a souvenir. $1 bill, $1 American bill. I don't know why. I have my weird quirks. So pretty much that's how it goes. Like I said, that was my suitcase. It is now empty, but I did pack my clothes. I packed my shoes, packed my socks, packed my underwear, and just a few makeup, etc. items. Our motel had a blow dryer, all that kind of stuff, towels. I brought a blow dryer. I wish I didn't because I didn't know it would have that. And in the entire time, I wore no makeup because it was so hot. It was melting off of me anyway. But that's pretty much it. That is how the visit went. So if you have any questions, just put it in the comments and I'll answer them because I probably can't think of it right now. Let's see. So other than that, like I said, it was a beautiful visit. Just going back to beginning, we left Canada. We went to Montana. I'm not a fan of Montana. I think Montana was like the worst of Canada and the worst of US kind of combined. High prices, really crappy motel room. I think our toilet didn't even work. The shower didn't exist. You're going through the long trip. and you can't even take a shower in the heat. It sucked. I don't like Montana. And then we went to Washington from there, and a friend I visited in there. Washington, the processing was a little bit different. Same idea. You still got the little locker. You still got your key. But in there, you do have to take off your shoes. You have to put them in the bin, and the bin goes separately, and you go on the other side, kind of like the airport idea. So it was a little bit different, but not that different. So, you know, you still can't wear certain things. Of course, their clothing is different, so you got to check the rules online, or if you're wondering, call and ask. But yeah, for them, they did that differently. The visit times were the same approximately, but during count time, it was the prisoners that left and the visitors stayed. Also, Washington, in that facility, the pictures were free, but you have to request one. In Oregon, the pictures you do pay for, and you have to request them ahead of time. So if you are planning a visit, ask your loved one to request the pictures, because I think they have to request them at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead, and then you get them way later. He'll send it to you by mail. So that's another thing for those who like pictures. Some facilities are still closed on that one with COVID, but I found that these ones were open. The pictures do take place, and there's different backgrounds sometimes for it as well. So like I said, we went through Washington. We did have fun going through different museums. We saw flowers. There was a wine and cheese museum. Anyway, not one to go with the kids with, but anyway, it was beautiful outside of it. So Washington was definitely beautiful. The water, all of that, it was cooler. The mountains, we really loved it. So when we got to Oregon, we went through Portland, and then to Salem. Salem was gorgeous. It was nice. The motel was amazing. So we stayed there for a bit. I got some pictures because I had to go to the DMV, and I had to go to the post office. So the fun stuff. And then finally, we went to Ontario, Oregon, which, like I said, is hot. There's nothing there. I mean, it's the desert. It was right on the border of Idaho. And, I mean, all the motels had air conditioner and a pool, so my kids liked it. But it was very hot, and I understand the winters are very cold. I've never gone in the winter yet, but the summer was very hot, definitely. So that was that. I actually saw people riding horses to Walmart or to Target. I had to stop and ask if I can take a picture of it, because I couldn't believe people ride horses around the city. And this is not a small town, but it's got that small town feel. Anyway, so I got to do a lot of stuff. My person, like my loved one and I, were actually in the process of opening a business. So for me, it was a pleasure trip, but also a business trip at the same time. So it was a longer trip than we thought, but it was a very productive trip. And now I'm home. Now I get to unpack stuff. And I was planning to be back in the end of September, but some medical stuff for my daughter came up, so we're not going to be back in the end of September. Here's hoping for October. And like I said, I can't think of anything else, so please shoot me some questions, and I will let you know what I know, because that's the only visits I know is the ones I've been on. Every state, every facility is so different from one another. Anyway, I'm going to end it on this note. And like I said, I am back. The details of our business, which is to help those incarcerated, are coming up, and I can't wait for that video as well. I'm going to shoot that video with my loved one as soon as I can after this. But now this mess has to go away because I got to finish unpacking, putting stuff away. Anyhow, and that's all I got for today. Again, I hope that you subscribe, click that like button, and I really appreciate all of you that sent me messages wondering if everything's okay, why I wasn't posting any videos, but that is why. because, well, I missed my person. I had to see him and I had to do some business stuff. So I hope you all get a chance to visit your loved ones. I hope it's in person, video visit, etc. I hope you're having a great summer, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.